Hey guys, what's going on? So, I haven't made a video in a while and I have no excuse. So, with that being said, you can see why I haven't made a video in a while. Um, I figured I'd make this little video, probably not a little video, I don't know, we'll see how long it is. Just to update you guys on what's going on here. So to make a few things clear, it's not like I have people asking me questions or anything, but to make a few things clear, we did move. So that explains the change in from a small shop to a much larger shop. And yeah, so here's a project that I had on the channel. This is the $200 go-kart. I did work on this. Basically, it was kind of hastily put together with a Go Power Sports live axle kit, which worked, pretty good. Not their fault, my fault, because I pretty much put everything together at 85-degree angles, so, that kind of creates things that are cattywampus. So then we stretched it 12 inches, but I'm not sure if there's any footage of that anywhere. But as you can see, it was stretched 12 inches. This looks like bent inwards in a few places, but it's not. Basically, what we did is, you can see it here, we took rebar that was really thick, and we pushed it through here, and on the other side, we kind of cut through the tubing and welded it in place here, and it was welded here, there, and like that as well on those sides. So that went pretty well, and then we reinforced it, me and my buddy Trey, with this stuff here. This was pretty thick tubing. It's like cast iron, I think, or maybe cast steel. Not exactly sure. It doesn't bend at all, and it's doing pretty good. So I figured, leave it as is. However, the rear end again put together at 85-degree angles, so I cut it out. There's the motor mount. There's various other things over there. There's the Predator, and I'm going to cut this one off. As you can see, my welding was subpar, although that one's not too bad. Here and there the welds were okay, but I was working with that 135 and I didn't quite know what I was doing to a huge degree, and then I ended up trying to miller, like a bigger miller welder, like a 200 amp, but it had issues with the gas feed, so some of those welds are a bit screwed up. However, it took a lot of angle grinder to get this one off, and I'm just going to use the torch on this one because there's so much weld there, so obviously not in danger of coming apart. But I'm taking it apart again because it was crooked, and it kind of ate part of the torque converter. If you look over here, and the paint job wasn't that great, as you can tell. It kind of went with the steering wheel. But here it is. But it ate a chunk out of the torque converter. You can see it there, like where it gouged it out, because the chain was like crooked from the axle, and the axle was actually mounted crooked. So this one seems to be at a fairly straight angle. That one was not. That one was like off to the side. And then the other thing I didn't realize when I put this together is that I probably should have pulled a string from like here to there and made sure it was level and all kinds of stuff to align these in some fashion, but I didn't. I just sort of like, it looks good enough. Put it together. That made the bearings out of alignment and, kind of just wore on things unnecessarily. And then there's this support bar that I put back here since I cut the old one out when I first got the go-kart. However, this is like kind of iffily done, and it's also like crooked. You can really see it from here. It's like off that way, so probably cut that out. I'm not sure if I'm just gonna like cut off the rear end of this and like rebuild it because I don't have the materials to do it. So I'll probably just cut this here, cut that there, cut that over here, and rebuild the rear end with some stuff that I've got laying around. Also, after I wrecked it, I'm not sure if there's footage of that either, but I wrecked it. The throttle got stuck open. I hit a crate of wood. It flipped over. It ran me over. And when I hit the crate of wood, it like threw the steering off. The steering's like not like straight now because it's on the steering column type thingy under there. But that wheel this wheel, since it's upside down, toes out. Like you can see how it's turned, but that one's turned more than that one. So that's an issue. So my plan was to like pull this out, put a rack and pinion in there, and then also like make the steering wheel adjustable with like a sleeve, so different people can ride it. So that's kind of on the shelf right now. I am working on it on and off. And then here's the Predator. Nothing really. This thing still starts and runs. Nice velocity stack there from Go Power Sports. Here we got no exhaust because when I wrecked, it like destroyed it and ripped it off. So I got to make a new one of those. Or maybe I'll just buy one since that'll be much easier. And then I kind of want to do a Mikuni, I don't know how to pronounce it, one of those Japanese carburetors, just because they First of all, they flow more, they flow better, and they'll flow a lot better with an aftermarket exhaust versus the stock carburetor with a jet. So that's what I'm going to do there, and that's about it for. Oh yeah, and it'll get rid of this like god awful throttle control mechanism that comes from like the factory. I mean, it kind of works, and I rigged it up to work decent with this rod here, but it's not great at all. With a Mikuni, you just like have a string that comes out the top, and it's like all built into the carburetor, and it'll make it look nicer. I also kind of wanted to put a cam on it, but I have some other plans too for a different motor, so we'll see where that goes. Here's the Nova. I'm not sure if I've made any videos about this, but it's a 67 Chevy SS Nova. Needs a lot of work. We're trying to find a body guy, so if you know one, I guess tell us. I don't know. But this is also just sort of sitting here. And here's a Honda GX390, which is basically a big block one-cylinder versus the Predator, which is like a small block one-cylinder. It was used as a submarine. Basically, it was like we took it apart, me and my friend Trey, and it was just filled with water. Like we undid it, and water just like shot out because it was like there was so much of it. It was above the fill thingy for the oil, which is on the side cover, which isn't here. And we undid it and just like sprayed oil out, and that was terrible. Then there was a pulley that was like stuck in a bad spot, but nothing's rusted. The bearings are in good shape, no issues there. Connecting rod, but the connecting rod, like end cap and stuff like that, there's like not really much wear, so it should be okay. Crankshaft, probably gonna polish this with an emery cloth, 1000 grit or whatever. Camshaft looks to be in good shape. Everything like works, and I cleaned it off with WD-40 and degreaser. Seems to be doing pretty good. It'll need new rings for sure. And then the piston like is scored. I don't know if you can see that, but there is visible scoring on the piston, and that's not very good. So I'll probably get just a rebuild kit for this thing, clean it up, rebuild it. I got to take it to have it bored out because the cylinder bore is in terrible condition, like absolutely terrible. It's like rusted. We took it apart, and as we were taking it apart, the engine actually broke free because it was locked up, and there's a ring. You can see it right here. It's like smooth and then like hard, or not hard, but like rough and disgusting. That's where like water or something sat, and so, got to have it bored out. Probably 20 over, I'm not sure. So there's that thing. Unfortunately, I can't afford to build the 390, just because I already have to spend money on a kit to put it back together, and a forged rod and stuff like that would cost, well, too much money. So I have a running 270 big block, which is like the same block size, but it's like bored out more and maybe stroked. I don't know. But I'm going to put that on the GoKart, probably. We'll see. It's 270. The Predators are 212. But, cubic inches are always good. And it's a Honda, so it's got the forged crankshaft and can rev and do stuff more reliably. And I noticed something. Like pretty important. I don't know if you guys have ever looked into this. Go look at a connecting rod, a stock connecting rod on a Predator, and look at a stock connecting rod on a Honda. Look at this. Look how thick that is. And it's like not thin cast in the middle here. Like, see the thickness here on the side? I guess this is a I-beam connecting rod. I'm not real sure. But see that thickness there? It's the same thickness in the middle. So this is a very like stout rod here. So I don't really see why you would need a billet rod in a Honda. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't make 30 horsepower on that rod, but I don't know. I'm going to see how much I can make on the 270. Here's some other parts from the 390. Got to clean all that, put it back together. I'm going to sell it once I get it rebuilt. There's the head. It's kind of shot. Not in the greatest condition. Carburetor, just rebuild it. There's a rebuild kit for these engines. It comes with everything, so I'm going to do that. Here's the exhaust, which I'll probably clean and soak and repaint, and I'll let that do whatever. And I gotta buy a new intake. Maybe not. I don't know. We have one over there on the other side of the shop. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the motor that might go in here, and then I'm gonna remove it, and we're gonna bring it over here and see if we can start it. So here's the other side of the shop. It's pretty much the same thing as over there, but this is for the workers. And so, our side is separated from theirs and all that good stuff. So here is the 270. It's on a chop saw, was on a chop saw. Direct drive, no clutch. Clutches are for losers. You just put your tires on the ground and you go. There's another one up there, 270 as well. and it should run. And this one should run too. It's got compression. I can show you. It's been sitting here for a long time, but here. Oh, there we go. It's pretty hard to turn over, and it's there. This was destroyed, but this is like a really restrictive Honda intake thing. It's like weird. It's called their Cyclone air cleaner. It sucks air in from like the bottom through this twirly, weird looking vein. And then it goes in here, and basically all it does is kill horsepower and filter out dirt, but I'd rather have dirt and horsepower, so that's what I'm gonna do. As you can see, it's, wow, that's destroyed on the inside. I'll just leave that there. Take the carburetor off, you know, clean it out. Just kind of get it nice and good to run. Probably also put a Bikuni on this, just because this like stock issue here with like the carburetor and all that is just like a nightmare to deal with, first of all. And their throttle situation, since they have a governor, is like terrible. You got this big arm type thing, and if you take the governor off, you lose the throttle ratio that you get from the factory, which is like really gradual and has a long throw, which is what you want. You want that, like, you know, long range of motion and long range of throttle input. But when you take the governor off, you pretty much just get like this much motion and like throttle immediately. So I mean, you don't really want that. That's how the Predator is, but you know, I can't help it because I took the governor out, which is okay because now I go faster. So, you know. It looks to be in good shape. Stock cast iron exhaust manifold. Be great for a turbo, but this doesn't have one, so it's going to get a header. And yeah, that's about where I am with that. And if this one doesn't run, we have that one. So, you know, we'll see. Alrighty, I'm going to get to taking this off. It appears to be held on by... Oh, look, does this plate come off? Oh, that'd be great. I don't have to make a motor mount now. Sweet. So, I'll just unbolt it here. And then there's 4 all the way around. And yeah, we should be good to go. So I'm going to set you guys up on that trash cam more than likely. And I'm going to get to taking this thing apart. And I'll see you when I get it back apart. Well, I mean, you'll see me doing it. You get the idea. So, just got the 270 part, or off this thing, but yeah, it appeared to be put in there with studs, which will make it real easy. This motor mount now can just be welded straight to the GoKart, and I can use the pre-existing bolts because it has studs, so I just literally bolt it right down. It's got this pulley on here, no problem, take that off. I'm ordering a 1-inch, I guess, like clutch thingy for the torque converter, so that way it can fit on bigger motors. And yeah, so overall should be pretty good. I'm going to take it off of here and I'm going to carry it over there to the other side of the shop. So I'm going to get to doing that. So I wasn't able to get that pulley off. I tried using the 3-jaw puller, didn't really work that well. I tried using the 2, didn't really work that well. It's like on there too tight. So I may just cut it off with the angle grinder. We'll have to see. So for now, we can run the engine without having to actually pull that off. So I figured I could just tug this off, take this thing off because it's like dirty, like inside and out. That's where air goes into the engine, and it looks like this. So I figured I'd take this off and open that up and clean it, make sure it's all good, and then start the engine. And, well, first of all, see if it starts at all. So yeah, I'm going to pull this off, and then I'm going to put some gas in the tank because we don't have any. So after I do that, I'll bring you guys back, and hopefully it'll be running. So I did not get the pulley off, and the motor didn't start. We put gas in it and some other stuff, and it didn't really want to start. It needs a recoil, really, to efficiently, crank on it, get it running right. It's really tedious to have to wrap that around that cup there every time. But I did take it with the air compressor right there and spray it off. It's a lot cleaner now. As you can see, it's not just like shedding dust. This stuff is pretty much like baked on here in some shape or way. And so don't worry, it had that paper towel type thing there. But as you can see, it's a whole lot cleaner. It is, let me get out the light, in fact, a GX390. You can sort of make it out there. I'm not real sure if you can see that. Hold on. Here you go. This is broken, so this is how we use this. There we go. That should give us the information we need, potentially. But this engine, from what I understand, hasn't been running in like 8 years. So when we start this thing up, it'll definitely be a cold start. I'll get it on video. It's just right now we couldn't get it started. So there's that. This is a somewhat long-winded update video, but basically a summary. GoKart needs an engine, needs steering, probably needs a seat. I don't know. We'll put that back on. We'll see. Go Power Sports 212 needs exhaust. Really, that's it. 270 needs love and attention. And 390 needs a full rebuild and machine shop visit, which, I will hopefully eventually get to, because I kind of want to sell that thing and make a little bit of money. So that'd be good. The Tacoma is turbocharged, and it's somewhat tuned with the AEM, FIC6, Fuel Ignition Controller 6. So we'll see how that goes. I need to upload all the videos of me actually turbocharging the truck, so I need to get in and actually edit those. But this one's going to go up before all that, just because I need to give a sort of update for people who are wanting me to make videos. So don't worry, I will definitely be posting the how to turbo your Toyota Tacoma videos at some point, progressively and slowly, more than likely. But if you really want to see how the truck has turned out and you're not already on Tacoma World, I would suggest going over to Tacoma World, searching Bryce's Turbo V6 build. I'll leave a link in the description for it. But that's up to date. I post there pretty much, not every day, but every other day, just with stuff that's happening with the truck. There's pictures there. There's information, tons of information. I'll also be writing a how to turbo your Toyota Tacoma thread. It'll be a big thread with stuff that I'll show you how to do, what not to do, what people have done, and all kinds of stuff. So they'll be made eventually, and yeah, I guess that's the end of this video. So thank you for watching. If you want to see updates and progress on the GoKart, the 212, the 270, or the 390, or the Toyota Tacoma, or the Nova, go ahead and click the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.